As you look at your small, one-person, home-based business, you wonder, no doubt, if this is all it'll ever be. Aren't you tired of having to be the CEO, the chief marketing officer, the operations officer, and the chief financial officer? Oh, and also answer the phone and produce everything all for just a little bit of money? To learn the answer to that, study entrepreneurial legends. Study people who did what you want to do. Shortly after World War II, a Japanese man named Momofuku Ando was at a train station in Osaka where he saw a long line of people outside waiting in the cold to buy ramen noodles. He began to imagine how to make ramen noodles more accessible and easy for everybody. Well, fortunately for him, his wife was a good cook, and he watched her processes and ways of doing things. He went out into his garden shed and began to experiment with methods to manufacture ramen noodles quickly and efficiently. After watching his wife's methods for cooking tempura, that's deep frying, he instantaneously deep fried noodles in high temperature oil in order to reduce the moisture and remove it. As a result, Ando invented instant ramen in 1958, and Nissin Foods grew rapidly. In the 1970s, Ando invented cup noodles, which were the first ramen snack packed in a cup. Since then, the global demand for instant ramen is 100 billion, with a B, billion servings each year. So do what he did. Take your micro business and turn it into a small business, to a medium business, and to a big business. So I was a stockbroker, and like the Wolf of Wall Street himself, we are going to steal some plays from Fortune 500 companies that trade for billions of dollars each day. 1. Create a business that is easily transferable. So what kind of business entity should you set up? I can't give you legal advice, but I can give you information about various entities. For example, an LLC is a good business if you are primarily local. For example, real estate companies that operate in one state or one county are pretty good with LLCs. Corporations, well, maybe, but the nice thing about a corporation versus an LLC is corporations are a very old form of business entity. They've been around a long time in all 50 states, so the rules are more or less the same and they're settled law. LLCs, for example, are not that old. The rules for LLCs are not the same in every state, which means that if you have an LLC in one state and you want to do business in another state, the rules might not be the same. So therefore, it's not so easily transferable. It's like your driver's license. You can get a driver's license in one state, but drive your car in another state is generally not a problem. That's the nice thing about doing business as a corporation. Therefore, it's more easily transferable than an LLC. So if you have a LLC that you want to keep small and local, that's just fine, but you're not going to be able to grow into a behemoth keeping your business as an LLC in all likelihood. Number 2, marketing. The 4 Ps. What are the 4 Ps? Price, product, promotion, place. Get those things right, you'll be a billionaire. Easier said than done. Now, acquiring new customers is far more complicated and hard than selling to existing ones. There is a 60% to 70% success rate in selling to existing customers and a 5% to 20% success rate selling to a new customer. But increasing customer retention rates by 5% will increase your profits by 25% to 95%. So that's marketing. If marketing brings in the customers, operations keeps them. So how do you operate like a great business? Study Nissin, study automakers, study Six Sigma. How do you create a consistent experience for your customers? Create a business that generates profit while you sleep. So imagine a business that you use regularly, that does you right, that always gives you a consistent experience. Take a moment and think about what that business is. Good. Now that you got that business in mind, imagine the investment that they must put in order to deliver the same experience to you as a customer every single time. The manuals that must be written, the procedures that must be formalized. All of these things will help to generate a business that will bring you income while you sleep or on vacation. If people are swiping their debit cards and buying from you while you're sleeping, you're doing something right. Break-even analysis and markup versus margin. So how do you do a break-even analysis? If your goal right now is to make $120,000 a year, you break that down into months. So $120,000 a year is $10,000 a month. Now break that down into days. So if you're working for 20 days a week, that's Monday through Friday, times 4 weeks, that's 20 days. So if you want to make $10,000 in 20 days, that's $500 a day. How do you keep yourself on that sort of goal where you're making roughly $500 a day so that you can meet or exceed your goal of $120,000 a year? If you plan it, you're much more likely to see it come to pass because what gets measured gets done. Finally, I want you to take a look at your pricing, okay? So if you want to make a 35% margin, I said profit margin, not markup. How do you make that? Okay, first of all, you're going to take 35%, which is the desired percentage margin that you want. Take the additive inverse of 35%. That's 100% minus 35%. That gives you 65%. Now, I want you to, if your cost of goods sold is $1, take your cost of goods sold. So if you paid $1 for something and you want to sell it at a 35% margin, guess what you price it at? You divide $1 by 65%, 0.65 in your calculator, and the price is $1.54. That doesn't really sound like a 35% margin, but it is. That would be a 35% markup if you sold it for $1.35. Think of how many people make this amateur beginner mistake in pricing. Hundreds of thousands of dollars lost over a simple math error, so do it right. Price, don't confuse margin with markup. Price according to margin. Finally, number 5, write a business plan. Why? It enables you to make your mistakes on paper and tell the story of how you're going to get this done. No plan is ever going to be adhered to 100%. In fact, it probably won't survive your first day. That's okay. It doesn't have to be exact. But it will be a good roadmap. And just like following a roadmap, you're going to get lost occasionally. Even GPS gets you lost sometimes, but that's all right. A plan will get you back on plan. So if you want to make $5 million this year, if you want to make $100 million this year, simply write out a plan for how it's going to be. Get some good business planning software that can walk you through this process and make it super easy, almost Sesame Street style, and fun. So with that, I'm James Chittenden of OneClickAdvisor.com. We teach you how to start a business, market a business, operate a business, finance a business, and get it all done in one place. We'll teach you and put the tools in your hand. One-Click Advisor, the entrepreneur's best friend. Thank you for watching.